Hi there, welcome to my views and news. Three news stories for you. Firstly, it is being reported by several Ethiopian uh, activists and news sources as if Somalia has agreed to give a port to Ethiopian government. Most of them are basing their analysis on what PM Abiy said today. PM office released a statement today about a phone call between Erdogan, Turkish president, and PM Abiy. I want to speak a little about that. Secondly, Sudanese refugees in Ethiopia are returning to their homes, not happily, obviously. Two camps are being established reportedly on Sudan side of Sudan, Ethiopia border. Three camps rather. Isn't it? Uh, I wouldn't say shameful, but yes, Ethiopia need to rethink what happened to Sudanese refugees. What could have been done to stop them from leaving Ethiopia? Before these two news stories, let's talk about athletics. Olympics, where Ethiopia has won 4 medals so far. Ethiopia won fourth medal today, 1 gold, 3 silver for Ethiopia so far. Tigist Asefa won a silver today in a women marathon. The women marathon was won by Sifan Hasan. Sifan Hasan is also an Ethiopia born athlete, but she's representing the Netherlands. Sifan has won 3 medals so far for the Netherlands, 1 gold, 2 bronze. She won medals in 10,000 meter race, 5,000 meter race, and she won the women marathon. In women marathon, Ethiopia lodged a complaint against Sifan that she elbowed Tigist Assefa, but the complaint was rejected by the authorities. Sifan has been declared the winner of this race. I think this is how Sifan runs, because I remember that once Gudav Sege also complained at World Athletics Championship that Sifan tried to push him. This is her style of running, that her arms are spread out a little. So the neighboring athletes suffer a little. But Ethiopian complaint has been rejected. By the way, what is surprising for me is that some Ethiopians are celebrating the win of Sifan. Why? Because is Ethiopia born. She is from Oromia, I think. I've seen several Oromos welcoming her win. They're more interested in Stefan's results than the results of other Ethiopian athletes. Tigrayans were talking about Gudaf Sige and others were from Tigray. So ethnicity again is influencing the people, how they are receiving the performance of these Ethiopian athletes. Overall, 4 medals so far for Ethiopia: 1 gold, 3 silver. Secondly, viewers, let's talk a little about Sudanese refugees. Then main topic. Sudanese refugees are returning to Sudan from Amhara region. Thousands are walking towards Ethiopia-Sudan border. They have crossed into Sudan reportedly. They were at Olala forest in the Amhara region of Ethiopia. They complained that they came under attacks. Amhara militia members attacked them and they were not safe. Some women were raped too. Their belongings were robbed. They were stolen. And they were offered to be relocated to a new refugee site. They refused. They said they would like to return to their country. Sudan is better for them in terms of security. So they are returning. 3 camps have been established by Sudanese authorities on Sudan side of Sudan-Ethiopia border in Gidaraf regional state, reportedly. Uh, these people should have been protected in Ethiopia. Ethiopia complained that it had shortage of resources, but once the refugees entered Ethiopia, it was the responsibility of Ethiopian government and refugee agencies to protect and help the refugees. Ethiopian refugees are still in Sudan. Tens of thousands are there. They entered during Tigray war. We did not hear about attacks on, no complaints about the security there or any attacks carried out by Sudanese groups on Ethiopians there. But Ethiopia could not protect Sudanese refugees. That would always be uh, a question for Ethiopian authorities. Why didn't they do much to protect the people of their neighboring country when the neighboring country people were in need of support from Ethiopia? I think one of the reasons is that Ethiopia has lost its authority in the Amhara region. Had government tried its best, even then it would have been difficult for the government to protect the people. Why? Because in the Amhara region, Fano groups, other groups, criminal elements, they are in charge. They're in control of large parts. That is why government cannot protect each and every village and town. But still, I think that government should have done more to protect Sudanese who are sadly returning to their country, where war is still ongoing. Lastly, viewers, has Somalia agreed to give access to Ethiopia to a port? Several Ethiopian sources are reporting that. Well, firstly, I did a video film. I told you about hesitance shown by Ethiopia. That's my analysis, by the way. That Ethiopia is a little hesitant to resume talks with Somalia. That is why Hakan Fidan came. That is why Erdogan intervened. When Erdogan talked to Abiy after the Turkish presidency, said that Turkey is dissolving the Ethiopia-Somalia tension, and Ethiopia should ensure that Somalia's sovereignty, territorial integrity is respected, etc. When PM Abiy, Prime Minister Office, issued a statement about Abiy Erdogan call, the Prime Minister Office said that the call focused on bilateral trade first. The two agreed on doubling the volume of bilateral trade first. Secondly, importantly, Ethiopian PM appreciated Erdogan for resolving the tension between the two countries, Ethiopia and Somalia. But he said that the tension has been created by a misunderstanding. So Abiy is calling Somalia Ethiopia issue a misunderstanding, which is not a misunderstanding, by the way. Ethiopia signed an MOU with Somaliland. Ethiopia wants to build a naval base there. It wants to have access to port. It wants to deploy its forces there. There's no misunderstanding. Ethiopia could recognize Somaliland as a country as well. So it's not a misunderstanding, but that's what the Ethiopian said. Lastly, very importantly, he said, the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, the PM office, that Ethiopia appreciates the position, the efforts of the Turkish president in providing Ethiopia, 120 million people, Ethiopia, with access to sea through agreeable approach. So indirectly, Ethiopian PM office today confirmed that Turkey is helping Ethiopia in gaining access to a port. When we say access to port, it does not mean the way Ethiopia has access to port in Djibouti. No, it's different. When Ethiopia says it wants access to port, it means it wants a long-term agreement, it wants full rights, it wants a lease agreement, etc. It wants full right. It does not want to use a port like it's using ports in Djibouti. So Abiy today confirmed that Erdogan is helping Ethiopia in gaining access to a port in Somalia. Indirectly, it has been confirmed that Somalia is making an offer of a port use to Ethiopia. So, well, the sticking point. Sticking point is terms and conditions. Sticking point is the overall agreement. Because last time when the two sides met in Ankara a month ago, back then reportedly, Somalia made an offer to Ethiopia. But that offer was not attractive for Ethiopia. So Ethiopia did not agree back then. Let's see. Tomorrow, crucial talks going to resume. Tomorrow, we'll see what happens. But now it's clear that Ethiopia will withdraw from the MOU with Somaliland if it gains access to sea, to a port in Somalia. That is being talked about. Somaliland must be really upset. The way things are happening, if Ethiopia signs an agreement with Somalia, what would be the position of Musavi Abdi? Musavi Abdi would be the casualty of this Ethiopia-Somalia agreement if it happens. He is eyeing another term, election in Somalia, election in Somaliland in November, presidential election. If Ethiopia, Somalia reach an agreement, I think it would be a big blow to Musavi Abdi's ambitions to secure another term. So tomorrow, crucial viewers, let's see. Will they talk about Hobyo port too again tomorrow or some other port? Which terms and conditions? What will Ethiopia say? Lease agreement, guarantees, international guarantees, development of infrastructure, development of military, etc. All these issues will be discussed starting from tomorrow. So far, we cannot say that Somalia has agreed to give access to Ethiopia to a port. We'll have to see how Ethiopia responds. Suppose Somalia makes a very difficult offer to Ethiopia. Offer difficult to be accepted by Ethiopia, a port which is far away, a port which is not developed. So technically, we can say Somalia is offering a port to Ethiopia, but realistically, offer is not acceptable for Ethiopia because it doesn't make sense. So just saying that Somalia is offering port to Ethiopia does not mean that issue has been solved. No, there are lots of issues, terms and conditions, etc. That we'll see tomorrow what happens in terms of the outcome of talks. But tomorrow talks will start. So in the next 2 to 3 days, we'll see the final outcome, hopefully. Thank you for watching.